Welcome everybody, Kathy Arbor here. Welcome to Watercolor Tuesday. I just thought I'd give you a little review of what we did last week before we get started. Last Thursday we did this really cute little pumpkin scarecrow girl. Hey Lena, good to see you. I love your scarecrow you did. You did awesome. Loved it. And this can be also, if you want the traceable, is in the membership on the first tier. What is it? Artistic Seedlings. And there's many, many more traceables and downloadables. Thanks. She was cute. I thought it was fun. A little different than your typical scarecrow. So this is our October file folder. It's where I put all my loose papers, loose drawings, that type of thing. And we'll be binding it all together on the end of December. So last week we did this fairy. And there's also a traceable for this one, and this is in pen and ink. And this is my own creation drawing, so it's not from anybody's book or anything. So you can use that and paint it in watercolor or whatever color you want. Well, thanks, Lena. And today, like I said last week, we were going to do this month fairies, sprites, different little creatures. Brownies, I think there are, and what's the other one? Wood sprites, pixies, whatever you want to call them. Hi Dot, good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. It's a beautiful day here right now. It was storming this morning, but it's good right now. The leaves are really falling quick. So today I'm going to do another fairy, and this is also on the membership if you want to download it. And you just have to look at the community page and you'll see it in the members area. So today, I don't know if Xandra will be in or not. But I actually said if anyone had ideas on what kind of fairies you wanted me to do, to give some suggestions. And I got a suggestion from Xandra, and she wanted to do a fairy in a jam jar or something like that. So what I did, here's a copy of it. So this guy is a little, he's, I guess you call him a sprite or a brownie. And he's checking out the honey pot. So what I did, here's my traceable that I did. So I like to use tracing paper. I don't know why, but I just do. And then I actually peeled off the sticker from a jam jar or a honey jar. So if you have a jam jar, if you want to do jam, you could do peanut butter, you could do whatever you want. Pickles. Make your fairy the taste tester of whatever you want. So I did this he's testing out the honey. So he's got honey on his feet and his hands, and I'm gonna actually make this guy into a little kind of representing he's a honey tester, so he's part bee. So he's got the little antennas of a bee, and then I'm gonna do his little pants in stripes of black and white. So I thought he was kind of cute. So this is my rendition And you can download this little guide too on the membership page. And if you have any other suggestions for elves or whatever you want, hi Janet. He's your new BFF. They're little stinkers. They're little instigators. Hey, Darlene. Jilly, good to see you. Better today, thanks. Had my third COVID jab. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you're feeling better now. You just have to behave yourself, Dot. So what I did is I photocopied it, or scanned it, photocopied it, and then that's how I got this. I made it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to just use this to paint on. So I have one here I already stuck onto my clipboard. And it'll be a little easier for you to see if I do a bigger painting. And it's the sketchbook is sketchbook paper. It's not watercolor paper. It's a little thicker, but I'm not going to do a whole lot of washes on this. If you want to do yours on watercolor paper, you could trace it. Or if you have a special printer that'll take watercolor and you can print on the watercolor, you can do that too. Hey, Dar. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try. This is just copy paper. So you can do a bit, but not a lot. But I think what I'm going to do in this one is a little bit of colored pencil on top of watercolor. So anything I want shadowed a little more, instead of adding a lot of watercolor or water to this, I'm going to do the colored pencil instead. But you could do it on watercolor paper and just use watercolor if you want. Good to see everybody here. So, before we get started, I did get, I don't think some brushes. Yes, I know. I have a lot of brushes. These are watercolor brushes from Rosemary and Company in the UK. Everybody's been talking about these, and I don't have really fine detailed brushes. So I got a couple sets, and I was really surprised actually. They're not that bad priced. And one was the red dot it's called, and this is Rosemary's brand. So they're a little shorter, and I got the, let's see, 0, 1, 4, 2, 3, and 6. And they're shorter bristle. These are synthetic, but a lot of people rave about them. And I find that if you have a shorter bristle, I'll show you. This is a number 4, and let's see. And this is a number 4. So if you can see, there is a difference. It's a little more pointed. It's a little shorter. And the smaller you get, the shorter. I can take these off. It's a little bit easier of controlling your finer detail stuff. And then I did get a Anna Mason one. I do love her work. Hers is a little bit shorter again, even more, for fine detail. And I got a large bristle mop brush, or not bristle, goat hair. Very, very, very soft. And these are great for blending acrylics. And the best thing of all, a catalog. I love catalogs because you can just, you know, browse it, have a cup of coffee, browse at all the different types there are. And this is a really good book because it tells you how they're used. There's different shapes, there's different sizes, different lengths of bristle, different artists that use a certain type. And they actually give a brush thing at the end. Where is it? Yeah, what each brush will give as far as stroke. I thought this was cool. So they weren't really all that bad price. This Anna Mason one, I believe, was $32 for all these 5 of them. And I bought these. These were all separate. I can't remember what each one were, but it wasn't very much. So if you want, they also have Kolinsky in here. A lot of different synthetics. Apparently these red dot synthetics are brand new, what would you call it, technology. It's that, I guess you can hardly tell the difference between sable and this one, so they say. So I'd like to try them out. So depending on, you know, the style you want, there's all kinds of, look at that, beautiful points. If you want a really sharp point, here's the oriental ones. Swords, really nice combs or rakes that they have here too. These are the brush ones. Traveler. Oh, here's some prices here. Traveler ones. These are Kolinsky, so they're more expensive. But let's see, the red dot here was short handle and long handle. So a number 1 is £3, so whatever that is in dollars, I don't know. So there's different ranges in this, but yeah, I love that. It's kind of dangerous for me to have that, but yes, Lena, I love brushes. That's it. I want the I know, the catalog alone. I know I'm weird, but I love the catalog too. I guess it's possibilities, eh? Ooh, let's try maybe, you know, you check mark the ones you're gonna eventually try out. Yeah, and nice packaging too. Like, you know, they're a very, very nicely sturdy box, and then this little thing, thank you, a sticker, and then the catalog. So I thought, ooh, that's nice. Doesn't take much to please me. You might, I think they probably would send you the catalog if you just want the catalog. All right, so I think we'll do this little guy. Like I said, this is copy paper, and I've photocopied this. I can't remember if I think this is a laser. Let's see. moves or not. Nope, must be laser. So we're gonna see how this goes on copy paper. Could be a fail, I don't know, but we're gonna try it anyways. So if you want this drawing, it's traceable, you can download that now. It's already up on the community members page if you want to go get it. It doesn't seem fair to just ask for the clog when you obviously want. Yeah, true. So he's gonna be in some honey. So I'm thinking it's light to dark I like to work with as far as watercolor. So there's going to be a lot of yellow and maybe pale greens. I think I'm going to do thinking of his face. What color skin should I do? I was thinking of you actually, Janet, thinking, oh, Janet would love these because you're very detail oriented when you do your watercolor too, and you work very small in a lot of things, so you would probably like those red dots too, or the Anna Mason brush set for fine details. I can't make... Oh, thanks, Gail. No problem. I know life gets in the way. No problem. That's why they're recorded. You have a fantastic day. I think I'm going to do his sleeves kind of in a furry look. So I'm going to do a kind of a grayish color. So probably I'm going to do some indigo and maybe a little bit of red or crimson with it. Make a purple. A little bit of green with that to turn it dark. I like a nice kind of a dark green. You just have to play with it a little bit. And then just now I can't wet this and then just so we're just gonna put a coat of this grayish color, and I know it's not going to be smooth looking, so that's why I have to keep in mind my brush strokes. You won't have to do that if you're going to use watercolor paper, but if you're using sketchbook paper, this is just copy paper, so it's even worse than sketchbook paper. But you can use it, you just can't put too many coats on it. And then we'll see what it looks like when it's dry. And he's going to have a little bit of a darker pants or leggings or whatever they are. I would say they're leggings because they're tight on them. Another thing that would be good to do is use your watercolor pencils when you're using paper like this. Or Neo 2s you could do. Something that doesn't require a whole lot of water. It's up to you. I just thought these were cute. He's got his holes in his stockings here. And of course you can change this up to however you want. If you don't want the little antennas, you can take them off. You can change up the ears if you want. You can put wings on them. Do whatever you want. Is it close enough for you guys, or do you want me to zoom in a little bit? Let me know. If he's a jam fairy, you could make him a different color. You could give him a berry head, like instead of this hat, it could be a strawberry top. You know, just play with it. Now I'm going to water this down even more, just for in here where the glass is, because it'd be a little bit different looking. So I can make see what color feet do I want. I'm just going to do them in a light, little bit of dark on the bottom here, maybe in the creases. Just putting a little bit more in areas where it'd be shadowed. Maybe back here along his collar line here. Just a bit. Shadow it. Now, what color do you think we should do his skin? On the greenish side? Could do raw sienna, maybe a real pale raw sienna, maybe. Let's see. And then we could add a little bit of green to it. Green him up, I guess. See what this turns out like. It might be too light. It's hard to tell when you're doing it on copy paper because the paper itself kind of changes the look of the paint because it's wet. I've got a really cute one for next week too. I've already drawn it up. But if you have any suggestions, let me know what kind of fairy. Is he a mischievous one? Is he in trouble? What's he doing? You got him doing something funny? And we'll just give him a light coat. If you want, I can do the next one on watercolor so you can see how the difference is as far as painting. Maybe you'd like me to do that. Let me know. I need suggestions. What are you looking for to learn? Hi, Michelle. Hey, Zandra. Here's the little guy. He's in sticky business. He's the honey tester. You can change it up. I used an actual label from a honey jar and I just transferred it on and then photocopied it. But you could actually draw this out and then take the label off a jar and glue it on to your painting itself. Thanks, Michelle. Olive? I'll put some olive on them. Let's dry that up first. See how light it's going to be. Alright, we can put a little olive on them. Let's see. Some of the Daniel Smith Green Appetite Genuine. It's always a nice one. I'll just mix it with this raw sienna. And just a light coat. So we'll do the shading areas with the olive. So under his chin would be a little bit shaded. And just and in his ear, put some there. And a little smirk just on the very bottom of his chin, just under his little lip. Paper towel. Hey, Kathleen. And then in his eyes, corner of his eyes, that can be a little more green. And we'll go in with some colored pencil. And just at the very bottom of his nose, just a little bit of a shaded area. Down as the center of the lip a little bit. And just up there. Just underneath his hat. And we can bring that out a little bit. And just has a very minimal amount on my brush. Well, let's do his legs. So he'll have a little bit of shadow in here at the back of his leg. And, well, let's use our new brushes, see what they work like. Let's see. That was a number 4. Let's use the number 4 in these. 3. So let me wet it first. They are a lot shorter, so I'm hoping you get more control. Let's see. It does hold more water. Is nice, Janet. I can't lie. They're more controllable. Yes, I do like them. And the point is very nice on them. Okay. Let's do a nice gold. Indian Yellow by Core. Make a nice bumblebee or bee yellow. So we'll do yeah, they are nice to handle. You have a little bit of more control. They have a nice spring to them, which is nice. I'm pretty sure you've already sold. Okay. Do I come? Let's see, what color socks should he have? I think he needs his antennas, that kind of raw sienna color. It holds lots of water, but it doesn't dispense of it quickly, if that makes any sense. And you can get a very fine mark with it. They are nice. Yeah, you can get a really fine line with even though this is a number 4. That's nice. All right. So I can add a little bit. Oh, maybe I'll do green underneath him. I'm going to put a little bit more green under here as little ears. More in the corner. Like that, and under his little chin. Are they spotters? Red dot spotters, I believe. Is what they were called. I don't see them on here. Red dot shorts. Riggers, designer. Yeah, I believe it was a spotter. It doesn't say, wait a minute. Yeah, spotter. So the honey, I think it needs to be a little bit more with Indian yellow and the raw sienna. So we'll make the drips of honey, and I can take color pencil and put highlights in. You can add more drips if you want. It's up to you. And I'm going to put a bit of a glaze over top of his hand just to show that he's got it on his hand too. And this little okay. Oh, I forgot his little knee. And what other color? His hat. What color of... maybe a little bit of a green hat because it's a leaf. Maybe his hat is made out of a leaf. So we'll add a little bit of yellow. Give him a odd colored hat. So we'll have a little bit of shadow there. A little bit of a shadow in there. Along the and then put on his a little more on his knee or legs here. A little more green. It's hard to tell until you see it dry how much you need. A little bit more on his hand. Maybe a little bit of green in this sock. on the bottom. Alright, so let's dry that and then we'll get marker or ink out. Sparrow, you just have to do it like Janet said. It's just paper. You can't learn unless you do it. And just do it in a journal that's just for you. You don't have to show it to anybody, but that's where you experiment. And just have fun with it. Pretend you're a kid. You're just playing with the stuff to see what it does. That's all you have to do. Alright, get a waterproof pen. And what should we do it in this time? How about a graph ink in the sepia color? It works. Doesn't sound like there's much ink in that one. Get another one. These are all ones. It's kind of small. I thought I had bigger ones. That's not coming out. And I'll try one, I guess. So small though. I used to put them somewhere. I know I have bigger ones, but I can't find them. It's weird. What's this one? It's a 5. Well, I guess we'll do it in this one, 3. Find my other. Alright, so I'm just going to go along here, and I'm not going to outline everything, but I am going to put in some of the areas like in the shadowed parts where his hat would be. You don't have to like draw a line though, you can just do a bit. So wherever you think the shadow would be on the drawing. So like, see this here? So I didn't go all the way up the hat, but I just did a little mark down and then across here. So wherever there's two lines intersecting or meeting, I like to put a little line down both. It doesn't have to be on the whole thing, but it just emphasizes that area. Because sometimes it's too much to put all the outline in. But, you know, that's preference too as far as what you like. So you kind of have to find your own likes and dislikes. You might not like this, so play with style as far as line work and painting. Sometimes maybe you want more color in your stuff. Sometimes the line work will compensate for less color. Do you want me to go in a little bit? What watercolor did you get? Oh, thank you, Janet. Getting the paint from the container. The paper just seems really intimidating. That's a good idea, Janet. Yeah, swatch. I'll bring you guys in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So the eyes, just make sure your paper is good and dry. So I'm going to put his eyes in. Be a little bit dark in the corners. And around his nose. Just the inside of his nose a little bit. So see, you don't need to outline everything. Just where the shadowed areas sometimes, especially this is a number 3, 03. So you could do it smaller with a 1 if you want, if you really want to get really fine details. It's up to you. Sometimes I use a really small. Oh, you're all caught up on Inktober? And then a little smirk on his face. That would be darker. And maybe a little bit under his eyebrow there. And a little bit under his ear. Be darker on that curve. How did I have that here? Let's see. Now I can darken areas. Don't think about darkening with the pen yet, unless you like that idea, but you can use colored pencil if you want. That's probably what I'm going to do, is use a bit of colored pencil. These are little strings or some kind of rope holding his shirt together. Let's see, just do half the circle for indicate that. Here's a under his arm. He's got his hat here. Might have a little bit crisscross stitching in there. Put that in. Any little folds in the hat, maybe. Just going to put that ear in there. Side of his collar would be darker. And oh, darken his little butt. Sometimes it's good just to do little scribbles too, to give it more texture look to the cloth or tree, that type of thing. You might have a fuzzy shirt. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him a fuzzy shirt. Kind of like a bee body. So just dashes and scribbles. Just to give it a little bit of a fuzzy look. And where his pants are torn, I'm going to emphasize that. down his leg. His little socks. Socks or slippers, I don't know what they are. I'm just going to do a little bit on the honey, not a lot, just a bit. And oh, my son must be home. Time for the dogs to bark. Alright. And then the jar, I didn't do a whole lot on it because it's a glass jar. I'm just going to put a little bit of this pen work in, and then probably highlight some areas. Maybe I'll do a little bit of coloration to the glass, just a bit. Could be green, could be blue. All right, well, that's that right now. Let's see. No, this is just copy paper. Yeah, you have to play with line work a little bit. Let's put a little bit of green, I think. I'm going to use a bigger brush though. I want to, just because this is copy paper, I want to use a fairly big brush to put a little bit of color on the, it's going to be very light, but just to indicate that it's a jar. Doesn't have to be a lot. And I do want to put a little bit of green under, although I could do, well, I'll try the paintbrush. Just under here to put some shadowed areas on his antennas. Don't know if that'll be enough. We'll see. See what it dries up like. Alright. Thanks, Dot. I thought it was cute, a little product label. So just peel off one and stick it on. You don't even have to do any drawing of it, although Janet, I know you would draw it out. I'm lazy that way. Okay, so let's dry that a little bit, and then I'm going to use some colored pencil. That right now, I guess. Put that aside for a bit. Alright, so with his pants, well, I could put a little bit here. There. Black. Okay, so being that his pants, or leggings, or whatever you want to call them, I don't want to go on the yellow parts, but I do want to shade in the, I'll darken the yellow parts with a bit of gold. But right under his shirt here needs to be darker. I'm just going to take a few strokes out. Just as it goes around the leg, it'll be darker at where it's crossing the shirt, and his butt will be a lot darker. And I like to go in the direction that the leg would be, so it's rounded, so you're going to make kind of curved lines going in the direction that the leg is. So curved lines, just, and ever so lightly, don't press too hard. You don't want a really strong line all at once. You want to gradually add the shading. So it's a gradual shade. It would be lighter up here because of it's away from his shirt now, so that's why I'm not doing this part. I might actually even lighten this area. Darker there. Might have a little more darkness where the crease is, and just a little bit back here. Not a lot though. Just a bit. And if there's any folds, you can just lightly do those. That's a little darker there. This will be darker in here because that's where his legs raised. Same with in here. And I'm doing the sweeping curved action. So a little darker on the one edge. And it, in this, it can be a little bit darker, but not much, because this is kind of distorted because of the glass. You're looking through glass. Especially the top rim, it'll be thicker, the glass parts, so you're not going to see it as much. So you just have to lighten up on that. Dark there. Should be fairly dark in here though. Look at that. Okay, so just a bit. Now if you want to do yours, if you have watercolor paper, you could do that with watercolor also. I like using color pencil. His shirt, let's do the gold part first. So it's going to be a little bit darker in the gold tone. So this is goldenrod. Let's see. So we'll just put a little bit of that goldenrod color in the under parts where all the shading is. My son got a new toy for the kids, or for the kids, they are like kids, dogs. Sounds like a pig, one of those squeaky pigs. They're gonna love that. Okay, and that one, there, see? And then I can take a white, just go over the top of this a little bit. Just on the very top. And going right over everything. Just to give it a highlight. You could do a little bit here maybe. Not much, just a little bit. Maybe right there. Okay, let's do his shirt. So his shirt, I'm going to just do a little bit of shading with the black, but very, very lightly. So as light as you can possibly get it. And we'll gradually add more and more to it. But best to start off light first. Don't go all in and do a really hard shading area, because it's very difficult to move it or remove it. It's best to just do it gradual. Maybe in there a little bit. A cuff. So under the arms for sure. I'm just going to do a little bit of shading. Not a whole lot. And then I'm going to do some scribbles to make it furry looking. I think I'm going to do those a little darker. And then right in here, that needs to be dark. And under his arm a little bit, just a bit. I'm going in circles. That's how I like to do it. That way it's not directional if you're just trying to do a shade. If you go like this, you end up with lines. All right, so now we can do some either little scribble like 8s like this. Go all different ways, and make sure you have a fairly sharp point, and you just do a bunch of little scribbles very lightly. Don't do it too hard. And I like to turn my pencil after a while, and then it kind of resharpens it. It just gives it texture. Looks like he's got a furry or a rough texture to his sweater. And we can also put a little bit on the outside, just so that it shows it's kind of fuzzy. I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow there. It's just fuzzy. A little bit of darkness over there. It just looks a little bit fuzzy, and you can put some more on the outside here, along here. Along the bottom of this, a little more. And then to show that there's more fuzziness, you can actually do more on the edges of the body, and it will give it a more condensed look, and less to the area that's more facing you, I guess you could say. So you got to think of the shape, and it'll also be on the tops too. You'll see it's more condensed. It's like doing hair. You'll see, or a beard. You'll see it less in the center, and then as you look away from the center, it's more condensed as you go to the edges. Does that make sense to you guys? Hope so. Thanks, Sparrow Hawk. Hope you give your watercolors a go. Have a fantastic day. You'll draw the hair on the legs. You could. You could. I'm going to get a little bit of a green. Let's see, an olive green. This one should do. This is a Kunar. Let's see. Yeah, that's not bad. Just a little bit of more green. Center and just in the corners of the eye. I could actually go a little bit greener too. More green on the nose. The lip. I'm just going to put a little bit more green in here in his ear. And in his hat. A little more shading there. And let's see. His legs. His hands too. Just where there's shadow, you think there's going to be shadowed areas. I know this is the honey too, so I'm not going to use a lot of shadowed areas in there. Hand here, a bit of green. And around his neck here. And his hat, a little darker olive. Right in here. Up his feelers, antennas, whatever you want to call them. It's just a little bit of a darker olive green. A little more dimension to them. So, and this is that ochre color. What is it? Goldenrod. So, whoop. Shoot. Died the pencil. Oh, that's bad. Let's try this one. So this is a little bit of the ochre into his skin color here. Just a little bit in the darker areas with the green. A little bit on it, on his leg, just a bit. And he's got a lot of honey on his hand, so I'm just gonna put some shadows in there. And then some white. Let's see if this will go on. Some shiny areas. I'm going to use white Posca maybe. Okay, so shininess. So he would have just a little bit of might have to use gouache maybe. Just add some shine. drops. And I'm going to put a little bit on his nose. Maybe on the tops of his ears. A little bit of shine. And a little bit on his antenna. Maybe there. And there. Okay. And I'm going to just put a little bit highlight on the hat, certain areas. And maybe a little bit more shading too. Around the edge of it, so that it's rounded. Sometimes you need a little darker. Just stand back and look at it. Sometimes you might have to just readjust your contrasts. That's what makes your drawing more interesting is the contrast. So light and dark. If you don't have enough darks and enough lights, it's too one shade, one tone, and you need to adjust it. It doesn't take much. Alright, there's his little face. His sticky business in there. I could put actually some honey in the bottom here on the sides so it looks like it's half full. Could do it with watercolor too. You don't have to use colored pencils. All right. Well, there he is. So I hope you give it a try. Download the traceable and see what you can do with it. Use a label or it could be pickles, it could be peanut butter, whatever. So I hope you give it a try and tag me on Instagram if you're an Instagram user, or Facebook. You could tag me on that. Next week we're doing, I can show you what we're doing. Where is it? Where did I put it? Thought I brought it down, maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. We're doing, because it's fall and it's season of colored leaves, we're doing a fairy that is coloring leaves with a acorn spray gun feather. So this will be ready for download too. I'll put it up next week and you can try and do this one too. So I'll let you guys go and I hope you have a fantastic day. See you on Thursday. We'll be doing acrylic painting. This time it's going to be sunflowers and a bear. So I hope to see you there and have a fantastic and creative day, everybody. Bye for now.